Hello, dear friends, my lovely audiences. Welcome to the East-West Show. Jack Chow on East-West with GNE TV. EDI cares about our community. So every time when there is a chance, we try to bring you the information that we believe necessary for you to be informed. And of course, on a special day such as today, we call Valentine's Day, there is no subject better than the Me Too movement to talk about. What a joke, what a fact, what a reality. So, in talking about the Me Too movement, with me is my good friend, Mr. Chirs Nebe. Mr. Chirs Nebe is a political commentator. In my eye, he's a fighter for justice. He's the director, though, for Hollywood. He doesn't look like a Hollywood style. He is the community style. That's why I keep him on the show. Plus that he is scheduling to go back to China pretty soon. I got to do it in a compact way, drag him over and over again to deal with the issues that I believe important. Sir, welcome to the show.
Shishini, and happy Valentine's Day, young man.
Ah, good. All right.
You're looking
good.
sharp with your tie.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. It's a little warmer than yesterday, so I took off my jacket. Do I still look handsome? I don't know. Anyway. Yes. The Me Too movement, we noticed for quite some time, all of a sudden, there came this accusations, one after another, on and on and on and on, until it has started to get its own name, Me Too, the Me Too movement. So, is it right or is it wrong? Is it in anybody's benefit? We don't know yet. So we are going one by one. So may I please just ask you generally, what is happening or what are happening now?
When men like Harvey Weinstein and his company of pigs were accused of sexual misconduct by dozens of women, it was a scandal that rightfully needed to be addressed.
All right.
Now women come up with baseless accusations, some of them dating back 30 years or more. Not only are those accusations outdated, they obviously also have no merit because most of the time there is not any proof at all.
Sometimes the story antedates to the dinosaur times. Yeah, so long, it's been so long. It is not an easy job to do to remember those details, and yet those details are remembered. Well, they're wonderful, I believe, right? But the thing is that why is it called the Me Too movement? It looks to me that it gets its own title already.
Because it means, you know, me too, I suffered. And now every publicity, or should I say money-hungry and devious woman who has or may have or imagines having had a disagreement with a man uses the sexual harassment accusation to even the score of such disagreement by discrediting honorable men.
I agree, but there's a layer underneath, another layer. At least 1, 2, 3 another layers underneath, right? That's why exactly I'm going to ask you, with this happening one after another, what do the mainstream media do? Or what has the mainstream media done to this thing, to the phenomena?
The mainstream media has become a self-serving obsession, which clearly shows that the moral and social fabric of America is completely broken down.
So, in other words, I like your term, self-serving. What do you mean by self-serving?
Because a morally bankrupt and corrupt media, mainstream media, supports this total breakdown of virtue and gleefully enjoys ever-increasing and disgusting displays of accusations by vengeful females.
I see. And what are the consequences?
The consequences are that accused men suffer immediate firings from jobs they have been worked in for many years. They created a reputation as respective businessmen, fathers, and community members, and this reputation is now instantly ruined. This is definitely going too far and has nothing to do with a healthy and ethical relationship between women and men.
Yeah, go ahead.
There is one more thing. The unilateral, sanctimonious, general endorsement by the public of this unfortunate situation is also unacceptable.
No. Little bit. I'm going to hang on here a little bit with you, right?
Okay.
So the public is not, in my eye, is not endorsing it. If they do anything in agreement with the mainstream media, is that it is only that they are misled. Or we can say, we can rephrase it, the public is misled, being misled to endorse the movement. So shall we do that way instead of, comparatively to be fair to the public?
I don't believe that it's just another flavor of the month. And it suits the powers that be. Okay, now we divert the attention of the public from much more important issues, which we have plenty, and which we can discuss at a later point.
In other words, the public has been eating pork for quite so long, so they started with fish.
Right.
Right? Serving them with fish.
Yes.
Okay. Now, I still want to chew on your term of self-serving. Do you think the accusing women, some of the accusing women, they are self-serving too?
Of course. Of course. If they wouldn't be, you see, they feel covered by other famous women coming forward. Now these women feel, oh, I also have a moment in limelight, and I dig up some story against basically a helpless man, because the man has, you're proven guilty. Once you're guilty when you're proven guilty.
Yeah, only when you're proven guilty,
but
right?
In this case, a mere accusation creates the ruin of a career.
That's exactly the core of the issue.
That's
right?
it.
If I'm accusing you, say, shoplifting at 7-Eleven last night, right? I need a lot of evidences to back it up, or otherwise I'm just, the obstruction of justice. Am I right?
Yes.
I'm faking my own stories. I go to jail, not you. Okay, now, if I accuse you of touching my butt, which you never did, right? Okay, if I could do that,
yes.
How come when that accusation is laid on the table, it is got believed, got bought by the public and by whatever, right away?
Yes.
Well, I don't need a yes or no. I know it's yes. I'm asking you why.
Because our social fabric is completely broken down.
Such as?
Such as, because this is becoming a witch hunt, an indiscriminate witch hunt against people of who many cases are not guilty.
I agree. However, we need some technical discussion in this whole area. Technically, when I accuse somebody touching me or whatever improperly, number one, this happens in the area of no third party. Am I right?
Right.
When this thing occurs in the area or in the circumstances of no third party, there is no evidence ever necessary. It is my word against your word.
Right.
Right? However, now, you are saying that in this whole system, you are guilty only when proven guilty. Now?
Right.
Okay, now, even if the fact that it is my word against your word, though, with no third party, your witness or evidence said whatsoever, how come the public still buy it?
Because, as I said, the moral social fabric of this country is broken down to the extent that anything goes. And it has become like a cult, a sex cult. You see, for example, it's very interesting. Immediately after this Me Too movement has happened, recently the Hollywood Reporter had an article headlined, "Everyone is trying to cover their asses as much as possible." That was the headline. And they introduced a new legal phrase. It's called moral turpitude. I repeat, moral turpitude.
Okay.
The term means an act or behavior that gravely violates the sentiment or accepted moral standards of the community.
Exactly. It's quite a challenge.
It's popping up in contracts of actors and filmmakers in the wake of the Me Too movement that has rocked Hollywood.
All right. Okay.
By trying to include broad moral clauses in their talent deals, movie studios and TV networks are now having the ability to terminate any contract.
They can fire anybody at any given moment.
If, and the clause they use is, if the talent engages in conduct that results in adverse publicity or notoriety or risk bringing the talent into public disrepute, contempt, scandal, or ridicule. So, to get on the media bandwagon now, and on January 18th, another group was founded called Time's Up Movement in response to the Weinstein and Me Too effect.
Right. Okay, let's hold on there right away, because I like the fact that when there is a sword, right?
Yeah.
There is a shield.
Right.
Yeah, this goes in the, and well, there is always you cannot let the sword go always without.
But this is not a shield.
No. I'm talking about by contradiction.
Yeah,
There's always contradiction. Okay,
this is just another attempt
to
capitalize
very good.
on this opportunistic and libelous media circus. Because that's what it is, a media circus.
Okay, my dear audience, today we are talking about the Hollywood Me Too movement. The start of Hollywood now is across the land, everywhere. Everybody is facing the Me Too challenge. Well, and that scares people away. It scares the hell out of people. Everybody. I don't know, something wrong. I don't know. And today with me, my good friend, director of Hollywood, Chirs Nebe. By the way, and being a director in Hollywood, he might have the right say. Yet, he exactly talks about what we should do in a righteous way rather than the evil way. Stay with us. We'll be right back, please. Hello, dear friends, lovely folks. Welcome back to the show. Jack Chow on the East West Show with Shin TV. As a matter of fact, today we are talking about the Me Too movement. Well, I don't know. One thing for sure, I swear to God, I did not pick up this day to talk about the issue purposely. It so happened that way. On the Valentine's Day, we're talking about Me Too movement. What a joke, right? Okay. In the joke, with me is my good friend, Mr. Chirs Nebe, director of Hollywood, and he is the president, founder, and CEO of Monarax Corporation of Hollywood, with a monument so high that consists of 18 series in one set only, right? Oh, now, anyway, back to the issue thing, to the issue, the Me Too movement. I still want to find out the essential elements why we are so far we are. why we have done this. I give you an example, right? The Me Too call might be stretched to cover other instances. You just now mentioned the word cop, right? Okay, now, there are other aspects that can be stretched to cover, which might be where the Me Too comes from. For example, this is a true story. A friend of mine has experienced the following. That there is a family dispute between him and his wife, right? The wife became violent and slammed the face on slammed the husband's face. And the husband picked up the phone. There came the cop. Without asking, the moment they walk into the door, they got the man arrested, right? It's a consumption there already that men are violate, women are be protected. I have no problem in general, but when it becomes a culture though, it is really the foundation of this Me Too thing. Do you agree with me? Do you think I make some little sense?
I absolutely agree with you. And this is all happening in the wake of every Tom, Dick, and Harry being accused many times without proof and being considered guilty just because a woman has decided to denounce them.
Defamation.
Defamation.
Defamation, yes.
And you see, we have to address, because this is becoming a horrifying socioeconomic problem within today's society. And it cannot be acceptable. It's unacceptable.
But question is, what would it benefit the women to do what they do?
Publicity and money. Because
Publicity and money.
Huge amounts of money, hush money, are being paid to keep this out of the public knowledge.
In other words, it is the money behind that has lured more of nice, beautiful, lovely women to step forward and say, Me Too.
Not only money, it's revenge for things which they may have suffered without even knowing. They may not have gotten a job or whatever. This is a power play which I think is totally unnecessary, but it is very, it's sensational, it's a scandal, has to do with sex, and people love it. That's very simple.
Good. We're getting more and more serious on this issue, whereby I believe that I have the following disclaimer to make. Okay. My name is Jack Chow. What I say here represents only my personal opinion, because under this beautiful flag of democracy, I deserve my right to enjoy the freedom that Constitution provides me. Amendment number 1, my freedom of expression. So whatever I say represents only me, myself. It goes against nobody. It has no way representing anything like the show, like GNE TV, like EDI Media. I'm not representing anything by saying the following, or the entire show anyway, right? So does that sound a disclaimer that protect myself?
Fine with me. I mean, I don't need a disclaimer, and I am standing fully behind of what I say here. No disclaimer needed.
Okay, very good. I like that. I like that. Okay, that's why you're a fighter of justice. I'm not. Okay, anyway, I'm a booster of justice. Okay, I blow. Okay, anyway, now, what would benefit the mainstream media to do what they do?
Just stop sensationalizing the issues and try to look at these things fair and only...
No. What should benefit them? What benefit the mainstream media?
Oh, it benefits them that people love to hear these stories, and the dirtier and the more exploitive the stories get, the more the media has readers or viewers. It's very simple.
Yeah, I agree with you. It is common that people, we human beings, we human animals, love scandals.
Yeah.
And gossip whatsoever thing, or dirty scandals, or funny scandal, or whatever, and somebody who marries who divorces who, those kind of things are the subjects, right? So to catch the public eye, once again, it's still money driven, isn't it?
Yes.
It's money driven, right?
The mainstream media, of course.
Yeah.
Mainstream media is acting as a laundromat and brainwashing the people, and the mainstream media and their corrupt financiers of the powers that be divert the attention of we the people from those far more pressing issues like...
It is typical an example to the opposite of the film Post.
Right.
Yeah, we just recently saw the film Post, and that was the moment that our mainstream media back then, based upon a true story anyway,
yes,
were a stand for justice, and they did what they got to do, right? And compared to what they are doing now, do we say it's a shame or what?
No, it shows you the deterioration of the social fabric of America. That's all.
Okay. If the mainstream media are not doing what they do, are not covering or boosting or help kind of like fanning the fire or something like that with this Me Too, is there anything else to keep them also busy about?
What do you mean by that?
I mean, there are lots of problems. Remember, not long ago, we talked about the opioid pandemic.
Oh, you mean, yeah, of course.
We have the homeless stuff. I'm saying that, are there or is there anything else
to
keep them busy about?
Yes. There are failed geopolitics, constant military aggression, abject poverty, racism, police brutality, homelessness, child abuse, the opioid pandemic, heartless immigration policies, and constant violations of human rights suffered by the poor and disenfranchised. A demoralized mainstream media with pleasure exposes and exploits sexual-driven issues because it's more sensational and the audiences like it more.
I'm glad that you mentioned also immigration, the broken immigration system. Right?
Oh, yes.
Yesterday, I had as a matter of fact, former commander of U.S. Navy, Honorable Joe Shamas, on the show.
Yes.
He's running for Congress. And he says, it's in the show, there were 2 Filipino kids who are in the service, U.S. Army, for 4 years, right? All of a sudden, their paper, are getting expired. So within 3 months, I believe, they got notice. They have received notification saying, you're expired, you will be out of the country by a certain date.
Unbelievable.
And having served in this army for this nation for 4 years already, and this 2 poor guy facing a deportation.
This is horrifying and despicable, and it's very un-American. It's a shame.
And yet you do not see as much of the story being reported on the paper, on our TV, on the mainstream media, as we see on the Me Too. Girl XYZ being molested, whoever being taken advantage of, somebody put a hands on somebody's butt, or something like that, right? Instead of those, why there's no coverage of this poor guy, 2 poor guys.
Yeah, because
they're DACA kids.
Right. Because you see, it has become this Me Too movement has become an indiscriminate witch hunt. It is no more based on the realistic things. Somebody is getting accused, and if I accuse you, prove that my accusations are right. That's that simple.
Thank you very much, sir. I really feel relieved when I found you and you and I, without checking, we have the same take. I like that kind of thing. My dear friends, my lovely audiences, my responsible fellow Americans, I like to talk about it because it is America. It is the health condition of Americans, us, we're talking about, because we see that we are going south. Not only that, we're going south fast. So please be aware of where we're going. And let's take a very short moment out. When we come back, we'll find out how are we doing and what shall we do. So stay with us, please. Hello, dear friends, lovely audiences, and ladies and gentlemen, my dear fellow Americans, welcome to the show. It's a discussion, as a matter of fact, about the funny or hilarious Me Too movement. I call it hilarious because I really can't help laughing over some of the stories, right? And those stories, some of those stories antedates to the dinosaur time, or whatever, anyway. And this is so interesting. And of course, in the discussion with my friend Chirs Nebe, fighter for justice also, and the director of Hollywood, I found that this is what we call a movement named Me Too. Okay, now, question please, sir. Welcome back to the show, by the way. Let's see. Now that we have the crying woman, we have, call it the accusing woman. How about that? We have the suffering man and the crazy mainstream media who are having their ecstasy already, right? What do we see as a society of where we're going?
I mean, you see, by nature, men are driven by testosterone.
Testosterone, yes.
Which is a key male hormone that stimulates male sexual characteristics.
Estrogen too, of course,
yes.
right?
Yeah. You know, some men have more of it, have a stronger urge of reproduction, others have less. But I mean, today, we are manipulated all the time by women. This has been going on. It's a normal interaction, and why don't we not accept this normal phenomena of life? Now it has become a normal behavior. Interaction between men and women has now become all of a sudden very difficult, hostile
to each other.
That's
right?
it.
Yeah. They're kind of doing this.
Yeah. At the same time, you see women cater to this by dressing as revealing as possible.
All right, good. All right, good. And may I do a little insertion, please?
Yeah.
Okay, now, I know you are a man of Confucius and Lao Tzu philosophy.
Right.
There are many times I see you talk about philosophies, Confucius philosophy. Do not do anything that you don't want people to do to you, right?
Right.
Okay, like that kind of thing. Okay, and the remaining time you mentioned about the yin yang.
Yes.
Right? So do you think this world is consistent of yin yang? Men and women play the yin yang part is the right way of the world rather than one monopolizing the other?
I believe in the forces of yin and yang. And this has been worked very well. And let's face it, I mean, women are constantly manipulating and inflaming our natural
that's what I'm talking about, yeah.
instincts. And many times, you know, I wonder how far women will go to arouse men by shameless exposure of their female attributes.
Okay, hold on. I have little
in dressing.
I have a little disagreement with my all due respect. Right?
Yes, sir.
I would like to express my disagreement with you. Okay, now, putting any stress on the part of male testosterone
Yes.
is not fair.
Correct.
And on the other hand, we have female driven by estrogens themselves.
Right.
Now, it is like a garden. You have flowers, flowers have leaves, and you have trees and you have grass, right? So now, it is the balance of nature. In the world, you have beautiful women, you have handsome men such as yourself.
谢谢你.
And
Thank you very much.
you have something in between which the law has confirmed already. They can get married. Okay, now let's go ahead. Let's do it in a coherent way, right? We are the inhabitants of this global earth that exact way. Now, to talk about a problem by saying that women inflaming its counterpart of their function of their testosterone, that's not fair, because those wrongful accusations has nothing to do with their malehood. It is only because he is a man or they or man, something
Right.
like that. Let's forget that part.
Right.
Shall we? Okay, forget that whole thing. All right.
But being inflamed by a half-naked woman is of course
Of course.
a manipulation of the man.
We talk about that. They manipulate by challenging nature. That's it.
That's it. Yes.
Challenge nature. By nature, I mean they have their limit and we have our limit.
Okay,
right?
so but then let's be realistic about those limits and accept them for what they are, and don't try to create this sexual harassment thing unless it's proven and it is really sexual harassment.
Some poor guys were wrongly accused, and some, of course, were rightly accused.
Perfect,
right? Something like that. Like Harvey
Weinstein
right?
and
Okay,
his
Weinstein.
company of pigs,
Okay,
they deserve
we're not talking
what
about
they're getting.
those parts. I'm talking. Let me give you an example. A week ago, that's why I pick up the call. I call you, say, Chris, come over here, talk about the Me Too thing, right? And that was exactly the moment when I heard the report and the comment about one situation, because that was call-in. In the call-in, one of the guys calls the AM 640, right, saying that I am fired. What happened was that I have a coworker, female coworker. She had a tattoo on her arms, not mentioning upper arm or lower arm whatsoever. All I said was, "Oh my God, that's beautiful. I like it," like that. And then, like, I was called by the boss saying I'm fired, right? And he says I argued with the boss. So quote unquote, I discussed with the boss.
Yeah.
Boss says, I know that you did have done nothing wrong. I understand you, but by protocols, by what it is prevailing right now, I have to do what to do. How about that? How about you go find somewhere else? I write you a referral letter to indicate you're a good guy, something like that. So those poor guys are suffering that much.
It's ridiculous.
Ridiculous. It is wrong, totally wrong.
And you see,
okay, in this case, there is no testosterone playing any role.
okay.
All right, please go ahead.
But you see, consider also the sexual celebrity cult, which
I like the word cult.
yeah, which exploits the natural male instincts, and I'm actually surprised in view of this sexual celebrity cult. Just look at the Kardashians. I mean, it's
Yeah.
unbelievable, unbelievable, and this is so obscene. It's such a obscene display of explicit sexuality, which is actually disgusting. And they're making a lot of money with it. So,
I know that I'm getting too old. I'm obsolete. I'm outdated. there are lots of things. I agree with you.
I don't feel at all old or obsolete or
They are
outdated.
dressed in the way that I would say they expose themselves too much.
Unbelievable.
Uh-huh.
You see, while I sincerely applaud and respect those women who are coming forward, having indeed suffered serious abuse by men, especially those perverts like Harvey Weinstein and his company of pigs.
Those are different cup of tea, right?
That's it.
Yeah.
I do detest the fact that the Me Too movement now has become the self-serving flavor of the month.
All right, good. All right, good. Very good. My dear friends, and we never cease to pick up another movement. We're doing movement after movement after movement. Okay, now, today in the discussion talking about the Me Too movement is my friend Chirs Nebe, director of Hollywood, founder and CEO of Marlon Racks of Hollywood. And in my eye, he's a fighter for justice that who I adore so much. And we've talked about some aspects of the whole thing. Let's take a very short moment out. When we come back, we'll find out exactly what we the people shall do. Okay, I believe we the people always have a solution. We're strong, we're resilient because we are Americans, proud Americans. I believe the Americans will always find a way to deal with a situation like this. Stay with us, please. Hello, my dear friends, my lovely audiences. Welcome back to the show. Jack Chow with my friend Chirs Nebe, director of Hollywood, on the discussion about the Me Too movement. It is a movement, it is never exaggerating by calling it a movement. It is a movement already. However, I don't think it's a very clean movement, right? And I hate to use any word rather than not clean, is because that I'm only trying to make things clear, make my point clear. By that I mean whatever I say represents myself, me, nothing, nobody else but myself, and by applying my freedom of speech, right now. With me, also by doing the same thing, is my friend Chirs Nebe. Back to the point now. The point being, when we are in a society with this danger hidden everywhere, right? There is no moment you can tell I'm guaranteed I'm immune to the whole thing. Nobody will sue me. Anybody could be sued, right? Mm-hmm. So with this hanging like a sword over your head, you'll never know. Okay, especially when a bunch of people got together, they joke. They sometimes play some kind of dirty jokes or adult jokes or whatsoever. In a common society, if you're close friends, you're close co-workers or whatever, I don't see something deadly wrong with that. But now it's going deadly. So what do you think, in your eye, we the people shall do? Number one, to protect ourselves. Number two, to undo the cult.
We must not succumb to this climate of hugely immoral and absurd behavior before it is too late and more serious damage is done. Mm-hmm. We must find a way to ensure that everyone, accusers and accused, are given the opportunity for a swift and fair review to prove accusations of sexual harassment.
All right, okay, all right. And how about that? Okay, I agree.
That's the most important thing at this moment, is the fairness of justice to the accused.
What if, right, somebody calls to rewrite the law, make it loser pay? How about that?
Yeah.
And let the court system deal with each of the accusations seriously and in a fully lawful way, offer everybody a moment of justice, and let it go on and on and on until enough evidence were found. Otherwise, dismiss the case.
That's wishful thinking, because you see, today, if I'm accused, it's the same moment in the media, and as you just pointed out, the person loses his job. So it's too late for actually justice.
No.
So it has to be kept out of the media.
Never late, unless you have a legal system, right?
Yeah, but
our legislators can create laws to do anything. They create all kinds of laws.
Yeah,
all right?
but there is no law. How can you create a law which protects you from the fact that if you're being accused today, you're fired today?
I am talking about the fact exactly where we are talking, what we are talking about. We're talking about we want to make the call to let the legislature make laws that forbids these frivolous lawsuits, right? And by doing that, to secure the lawsuits are not frivolous, the only way effective is to make it a loser pay rule. How about that?
But here it's not coming, you're talking about a lawsuit. Today it's an accusation.
I know.
It doesn't even need a lawsuit.
I know. Make it go that way. All right. And now, okay. Now let's be specific. I accuse Mr. Chirs Nebe. I'm a woman.
Yeah.
All right. In this case, accuse Mr. Nebe touching my butt. Right. Here I write my accusation. Right. So no publicity whatsoever. The law says go to court right away.
Right.
All right. Now, the judge look at it. So, evidence? No. Right? Were you two there? Right? Okay. Now, any witness? No. Okay. Dismiss. All right. Now, evidence? Yes. Okay. Let's go to court. In the court.
I see.
Let's go on and on and on and on till
yes.
the moment when you are not convicted, and then the loser pay.
Because the problem is that the sensationalist media picks it up immediately, and then you are tainted. So by the time you go to court, you lost your job, you lost your career, you lost your reputation, you lost everything, and most probably also you lost the face of your family.
And sometimes the men are taken advantage of.
That's it.
All right, sometimes men are molested.
Yes.
Right? So how about that? How about that? So make it fair to everybody. Okay, go to court, and that's it.
You know, the whole thing is a disgrace and actually a sign of the complete collapse of ethics in our society. It's that simple. Because it has become a media circus, and the celebrity cult of sexuality, as very, very well presented by the Kardashians, is fully supported by the people, because the people are looking at it, and otherwise they wouldn't be so successful.
Yeah, look at these days, all right?
Yes.
They have the low cuts, tops.
Half naked all the time.
They have the low-hanging pants.
Everything.
Right? And they have, come on.
I would like to know how many car crashes are happening every day by men ogling half-naked women parading on the sidewalks.
I don't know.
I'm sure it would be very interesting to find that statistic, because we are constantly in a state of being teased.
All I want to do is to make the call to let the legislator make laws, create laws to forbid from the root up, bottom up, stop those things. Okay, you really believe that you are molested, you were misconducted sexually, go file a lawsuit, not only accusations, come on, and then tell the mainstream media, unless you're reporting a case.
Okay, but
they can't stop it.
But you see, shouldn't it be, or it has been for the last hundreds of years, a normal interaction between man and woman. Now this normal interaction is sort of very much disturbed, because what I might consider a friendly slap on the back of a woman is now considered sexual harassment, and I consider this ridiculous. It's just simply ridiculous.
Exactly, exactly. And we used to say, for example, there is a Kmart or a Walmart, we're all in line for checkout, right? Somebody holding a little baby, a beautiful woman holding a beautiful baby. I couldn't even help saying, wow, what a beautiful, beautiful kid, something like that. Now you can't.
Why?
I'm afraid. I'm afraid. Well, this lady will turn back on me, right?
Yeah,
so,
the whole thing is now becoming the whole normal interaction between men and women is sort of it's a new territory. You don't know anymore where you're walking. Once more, I like to stress the point that I fully respect women who accuse men like Harvey Weinstein and his company of pigs. But I do not support these accusations which are
frivolous
made,
accusations.
Frivolous accusations.
Or groundless accusations.
And I also would like to know how many lawsuits are currently being handled out by corrupt lawyers for greedy and vengeful women, because they are suing people in order to make money, and the people have to agree to settle the suit because they are so afraid that if that gets into the media, their life is ruined.
I know where you are, but well, corrupted judges are different stories.
I'm talking about corrupted lawyers.
Lawyers also, lawyers or even judges themselves, and that's the different issue. All I wanted to make is a call to make laws. The law regulate, let the law start from the root up, right, from that thing. All right. Anyway, my dear friends, my lovely audience, we love you so much. That's why we try so hard to bring everything we believe necessary for you to know into the show. Today with me, the credit goes to my friend, director Chirs Nebe of Hollywood. And my dear audiences, whatever I said represents myself only. So keep that in mind always. Thank you for watching. And to Chirs, thank you, sir.
Happy Valentine's Day to your audience and to you.
All right, good.
Thank you.
We're happier with a Valentine's Day talking that subject.